As far as the African American community is concerned, the recession is already here. We're going to go down the numbers point by point on where we are hurting the most right here, right now on the Ujamaa network. Let's talk about it. To no shock to anyone, African American unemployment is higher than the national average. National average being around 4.3%, with Asian Americans and Caucasian Americans still in the threes. Hispanic Americans at 5%, but African Americans, once again, lead the pack and the most unemployed at 6.6%. Having that fact alone is only going to tell half of the story. What's also declined in the African American community because of the loss of jobs and the loss of income is home ownership. For the first time in recent history, African American progress in buying homes have declined. Currently, we're at 43% of African Americans actually own the homes that they live in. This goes to a particular point about our communities themselves. If we don't have communities to form because we don't own them, or if we are not passing on that generational wealth in the form of property, there is really not much else you can do to destroy a community other than take away their ability to earn money through labor and take away their ability to keep money through ownership. This is an area that we have to focus on because those two aspects are intrinsically linked: wealth creation and the ability to find and create work. Now, other than generational wealth, there is something else that we need to worry about or we need to look at when it comes to our lives in our communities. At a 43% homeowner rate, the generational wealth is only going to be that what you have that you can pass on. You don't pass on an apartment. And what happens in rental communities? If you're not owning your home, you're renting one, an apartment. You have a lot of people in a smaller area of space renting and living on top of each other. That is a recipe for shenanigans going on. I know for a fact coming up, we lived in the projects. There were things that went down in the projects that cannot go down out in the home. It just cannot happen. You just don't have the numbers. It takes longer to walk. Just that little bit of difference. You don't have communal spaces. That's where a lot of congregations are being held up. You know, whenever you got a group of people together, the larger the group of people, the more proclivities you have for one of those individuals to act up. Be a bandwagon type of individual, band leader type of individual. When one person does a bad thing, everybody gets blamed. This is the shenanigans I'm talking about. The hood breeds a certain type of mentality. It could be used for good or bad. Now, fortunately, in my circle, in that same hood, I palled around and hung with people who were trying to get up out, trying to better the situation, community leaders, activists. That was born in the hood, so I take nothing away from that. But in that same hood, I got family members and friends that actively tore it down. And we can't just simply bypass that fact. But the key here was the fact that none of us owned the communities that we lived in. Without that home ownership, you have a higher propensity for people to just act up. If you're only going to be there lease to lease with no guarantees, you don't have no financial tie to the area which you're living in. That works against you in a multitude of ways. If you act up, cut up, fight, tear up your neighborhoods, that's fine. It's somebody else's problem to fix, right? Because you don't own that apartment. But if you do, you're going to be more likely to try to protect your property because that's coming out of your own pocket. And you're going to be less likely to put up any shenanigans around your home. You're going to be calling the law. Hey, get these jokers up out of here. They're bringing down my property values. And that is something that we need to talk about. There's a reason why African Americans own less homes. And it's not just the economic side. A lot of us just don't want the hassle that comes with it because we know what comes with that homeowners. You have to be of a particular mindset to be willing to put up with the things that come with it. Particularly when I'm talking about you get a home, somebody in the family's down in their luck. You want to open up your door? We do, but a lot of us don't want to do it if I'm being honest. We just don't want to do it. We don't want to import the hood into the home we just bought. And that's what it is. Now, like it or lump it, I don't want to say it out loud, but I guess I just did. This is what happens. If the person you brings into your home ain't about that life, ain't about that home ownership life, and they just want to live up until they can get to their next lick, then that's a problem. The goal is to get everybody on the same page. Instead of buying a home, buy a neighborhood. And that's what the goal should have been. But we kind of lost sight of the game when we start throwing housewarming parties in apartments. That ain't gonna cut it, bro. It's not gonna cut it.